good evening. Welcome to the Mythical Ireland Library. This is, excuse me. Can we start again? Yes. Good evening. Welcome to the Mythical Ireland Library. This is Live Irish Myths episode number 343. We call it MythFlix. It's your version of Netflix. It's all about mythology. Good evening. It's, cool and bright evening here in the Boyne Valley. It's 10 degrees Celsius right now. And I am your host, Anthony Murphy. For the next hour, we are going to be delving into Ireland's mythological past. We've been reading from Lady Gregory's Cúchulain of Muirthemne, and we will continue to do so this evening. Wherever you are in the world, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, please do feel free to join in the conversation by sharing your comments, and we'll do our best to give you a nice mention. Hope you're all keeping well. And let's get straight to it. First in the house tonight, without much of a surprise, is Elaine Detlingenfelter, who says, greetings, Anthony, and all the Tua. Not a good first day of autumn in my neck of the woods, 33 Celsius. Yeah, pretty much as hot as it's ever been in recent, in modern history in Ireland. 33. Wow. Yeah, not a good start. Hopefully it'll cool down before too long, Elaine. Nico and Stephen are in the house. Good evening, Anthony and MythFlix family. A little bit of autocorrect going on there. Pouring down rain here in Conch, Arizona. It does occasionally do rain in Arizona, apparently. We're ready for fall. Mouse sends tail wags round Coda, Saskia, and all her furry friends. Blessings. Yes, hello, Mouse. Lily Shambles is in the house. Good evening. I hope all are well. For some reason, I can't read the full comment on that. Oh, yes, here we go. I'll be honest, I'm here for the warmth from you all today, as it's getting a tad nippy for me. Night lows 4 to 6 Celsius already. Yeah, same here. It was 4 degrees early this morning. It did warm up, but yeah, cold nights. I don't know, just commenting that for me it makes for more comfortable sleep. But yeah, I know the heating has to be put on more often. Marilyn Whitney says it's 13 in Northampton today, but the sun was shining. Hello, the amazing Tua and Anthony. I like the way, yes, they're amazing. I'm not, because I tell terrible jokes. The sun was shining here today, and so much better than those long grey days that we've been having. Sue Prenter says, evening all. For those doggy friends heartbroken, said goodbye today to Muffin, 16 plus years. Many will know the heartache. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Sue. 16 plus, that is a long time for a dog. All the harder to say goodbye to them. They are part of the family. What can I say? Except for I'm sorry for you. Michael Pike says, greetings, Anthony and the mighty Tua. Good afternoon, Michael. Good evening from the Boyne Valley. Sandra Boothroyd is saying, hope you're ready for our weekly stream. Well, what can I say? I'm ready. I can't speak on behalf of all of the rest of them. Desiree is saying sorry to Sue. Sending love and hugs. Absolutely correct. Relaxing with Mochu Agum after he recovers from surgery on his foot. No more tumor, but a few less toes. He's got a hard nap on right now, and that's Brian. Best wishes to the doggy. Amanda June, hello. Are you well rested now? Not really. It's been manic. Just seem to be working all the time these days. But anyway, that's for me to sort out. I'm here. Big howdy from Dallas, Texas, 31 Celsius. A couple of degrees colder than where Elaine is. Elaine, you want to nip down to Dallas there? Johnny says it's a bit cooler there. You might not be sweating as much. Brendan Byrne says, good evening, everyone. A crisp and clear day in Glendalough, if a little chilly. Same here, Brendan, except without that amazing scenery. Tuesday, Thompson is wishing us a happy Mythology Monday. Yes, after our recent couple of postponed episodes to Tuesday, we're back to saying a happy Mythology Monday. Chris Haney Lang is saying Moban blessings to all. Fall equinox or autumn equinox, if you wish. From here on in, those of us in the Northern Hemisphere will be getting more dark hours than light hours, or more darkness than brightness for the next 6 months. Desiree Riley is saying hello to all of us. Me and Amadeus are so happy to be tuning in live with everyone today. We've missed everyone the last 2 weeks. We missed you also. And I know you watched the replay. Coda was quite a feature last week, but I'm not going to really labour the point, given Sue is kind of feeling a little bit, well, a lot under the weather as a result of her loss. Catherine Cleary is saying, happy to join you, Anthony, and entire tour from an overcast San Diego. Wow. And so if you're saying it's overcast, it's obviously not raining. Linda Bird is saying, able to join today. It's been a while and I've missed the show. Hello, Linda. You're very welcome. It's great to see you, by the way. Hope you're in good form. Lexi Erickson. Hello, Anthony, Tony. Greetings to it's 74, which is about 23 Celsius. Wow, nice. Gosh, Johnny, you're cooler than us, says Elaine. Are you talking about him generally? I mean, he's a cool guy, right? Oh, you're talking about the temperature. I see. Ulla Conrad says, hello from Denmark. Good evening, good night to you, Ulla. Hope you're in good form. Anne McCallum is in the house. Hello, Anton and all the mighty Tua. Hope everyone's in great form. At the moment, folks here are enjoying a cool 22. What's cool about 23? It's 10 degrees here, Anne. With overcast and with rain forecast for most of the week. Really enjoyed your podcast number 24 on Amergin Glungyal, Bard of the Milesians. Very much appreciate you making this special talk available to those of us who couldn't be there in person. It was so interesting and enjoyable that I was truly surprised when you said you've been talking for an hour and a half. Could easily have listened to more. I don't know. I'm glad to hear it, because it's you know, when I get into my mode, I don't see the time going. And likewise, when I checked the time, I was like, no way. It hasn't been an hour and a half. Anyway, if you would like to hear that podcast, and thanks, Anne, for your kind comments, and the previous podcasts, you can do so by becoming a Bronze Age or higher level patron of Mythical Ireland. The address for that is scrolling along the bottom of the screen throughout the live streams. But I will share it now as a comment so that you can click it and go directly to that podcast. If you don't want to become a patron, you can actually purchase one-off access to each of the podcasts if you don't want to become a monthly paying patron. But that's where you get the good stuff. Well, I hope it's good, but Anne seems to agree, and I'm glad, Anne. So it wasn't a wasted exercise. And, of course, the people who gathered here in Drogheda last week, which was the reason last week's episode was postponed for 24 hours, was precisely because I was giving that talk to a live audience here in Drogheda. And, I switched off the recorder when the questions started, but the questions and conversation went on for about 20 minutes. And I thought, I've kept these people long enough. There's going to be no questions. Turned into a lovely conversation. Dronf is in the house. Good evening, Dronf. Hello from the Boyne Valley. Valentina Bernardi is saying good evening from a lovely autumnal Glastonbury. Happy autumn equinox. It was 5 degrees this morning at 6 a.m. Got much warmer, like 18 in the day. Yeah, quite a contrast in the temperatures in this part of the world today. Oh, you are amazing. Michael Pike, who are you talking to? Weird. You are coming through on my phone, but not my iPad. I can't explain that. I haven't hit the no iPads button because there isn't one. Keep the cold over there in the west. We still have 10 degrees, says Ulla. It's 10 degrees here too. Yeah, our high was only 13 today. Northerly wind, says Lily. Wow. Valentina is saying, I'm so sorry for Muffin. Play well at the bridge, little furry one. Indeed, space heater is in use at nights here. A few weeks till the Lardy puts the heat on. Amanda June is saying, I'm getting used to Cork weather. Not too different from what I'm used to, but it gets chilly and then I'm sweltering and it won't make up its mind. Welcome to Ireland and its capricious weather, subject to constant change. lots of people sympathizing with Sue on the passing of her beloved doggy. Mariana Dunn is in Virginia, in Alexandria, Virginia, and is saying Banachty, dear Tua and Anthony, hope everything's good today. All good here so far anyway. It is assumed that you are always amazing, Anthony, or we wouldn't tune in, even with toy dad jokes. Yeah. There might be a couple of those before the episode closes out. Thank you, Marilyn. Richard Burgess is saying a beautiful autumn day here in New York. Hope everyone's well. Hello, Richard. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's starting to get autumnal at last, but not apparently in Texas and in Ontario, where it's still quite warm. Alan Hoskins is saying hello for everyone from Bally/K. Getting tired of typing Ballada Killaloo on this beautiful equinox evening. Logs for the fire delivered today. R.I.P. Muffin. No, that sorrow. Have to catch up later. Enjoy the fire, Alan. 1966 Ebo is saying, sorry about the doggy. Cold in Boston at night, but 71 right now. So it's a common theme across the board. By the way, I'm not sure we've seen you before, 1966 Ebo. Don't recognize the YouTube handle. You're very welcome to Live Irish Myths. And if you're really interested in what you hear, there are 342 previous episodes archived on the Mythical Ireland YouTube channel. Enjoy those. Jack Durkin is saying, as December 24th is going to clockly change it. I don't follow, Jack. Sorry about that. Behave yourself, Anthony, says Elaine. Okay, will do. Thanks, ma'am. Yeah. Lily is saying, and so the darkness descends. I'm grateful to you all, especially Anthony, for the warmth and light you bring. Oh, nice. Mark Gordon is saying, good day from Des Moines. Is that how you say it? We had this conversation before, didn't we? It's not Des Moines, Des Moines. I think it's Des Moines, isn't it? Iowa. Good afternoon to you, Mark. Hello. Good evening from the Boyne Valley, where it's not quite dark, but it's deep twilight. Days are closing in. Have you done a live stream or podcast about what happened to the bards? Not specifically, but we have done live streams featuring the bards. So, but now, if you ask me which ones are they? But the search feature on the Mythical Ireland YouTube channel is very handy. Excuse me, Andrew Christie says, the reign of Angus and Bridget is over for another year. The reign of Cailleach begins. Happy equinox to Anthony. Thank you, Andrew. Greetings of the equinox season to you as the days close in more rapidly. John Main is saying greetings from San Francisco, where summer has finally arrived just in time for autumn. Yeah, brilliant, John. Good afternoon to you. Samhain starts at the new moon at the end/beginning of November. This way is to keep it to your local time zones in the Northern Hemisphere. Yeah, I often wonder about that. I think there's a wider discussion to be had there. I'm not intending to have it tonight, but plenty of people have suggested that the old cross-quarter festivals might have been more lunar than solar. But of course, the difficulty is that the full moon, the new moon, whichever you reckon it by, the first crescent or the full moon, it shifts from year to year, which is why Easter, the date of Easter varies so much, because it's based on the first full moon after the spring equinox. But so Samhain could potentially start almost 4 weeks of a difference, from year to year. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that. 1966 Ebo says, sorry, my name is Aaron O'Leary. Oh, what a wonderfully Irish name. Both of them. Aaron, the genitive of Eru, or Era. Your name is Ireland O'Leary. Well, I'll tell you what. I think you've been immediately accepted. Anthony, while watching the History Channel, says Lexi, they ran a commercial of different presenters, and I saw your photo. Where can we find you on that channel, please? The History Channel doesn't do the unexplained. Is that with William Shatner, does it? I was on that. I was on the History Channel, but it's the History Channel. Was I at Newgrange and was I wearing a light blue coloured jacket? Because that might have been Ancient Aliens. I know, Ancient Aliens, Season 3, Episode 13. Check it out. I was on Ancient Aliens. I'm trying to think what else I might have done for the History Channel. And I'm struggling to think. Because the thing that we did about the Ark of the Covenant and Tara was on Discovery Science. The Stonehenge thing was on National Geographic. The Unexplained, is that on Discovery Science? Does anybody know where The Unexplained is on with William Shatner? I should be able to find out fairly quickly. Is that the History Channel, is it? Because if that's the History Channel, that might be it. Now, which episode I was on? I couldn't actually immediately tell you. I'm not very helpful at all, Lexi, am I? Barbara Murphy is trying to get on, says Lexi. It shouldn't be that difficult. Tell her to Taurus Jock. Come in. Rocio Mariana Lopez. Hello, Mr. Anthony. I arrived just in time for the greetings. Hello, Mighty Tua. Is Coda going to host as well today? Yeah. Well, he's right there, tail wagging. He heard his name. I love the longer nights. I nest in bed with your books and read. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Come on. Come on. Oh, yeah. There you go. Somebody asked, and he delivered. Rocio. There you go. Coda wants to co-host, don't you? Yes, you want to co-host. You're gonna say, yeah. Oh, you're telling me a whisper, are you? No jokes. Oh, right. No dog jokes. Oh, fair enough. Jean-Michel Jarre's Equinox is a good album for the day. I like Jean-Michel Jarre. Barbara is on. She has found us. This was nowhere on FB as far as I, in a search of Mythical Ireland, could find. And yet you're commenting on Facebook. Odd. Yes, Rory O'Brien is saying equinoctial greetings, Anthony and everyone. Hello, Rory. Blessings of the autumn equinox to you. Desiree also gets more done when the nights get longer. It's liminal time, like Gaelic leap year. You don't look like an ancient alien, says Amanda June. Thank goodness for that. God knows I look bad enough. Oh, so now we're back to the repeat. Yeah, we are back to the repeat comments. I don't know why that happens. Anyway, glitch in the system, folks. I don't know why it happens, but it happens regularly. Also, says Mike T, couldn't say glitch on the iPad. Ah, well, tech. Jar is good. Mike T, I'm not sure if we've said hello to you before. Hello. Welcome to Live Irishmans. Coda is really starting to like his weekly appearance, isn't he just? What were you on? What? You were on Ancient Aliens. I got as far as Keanu and was surprised to see him there. Season 3, episode 13. It was a good long time ago. It was 10 or 12 years ago. Yeah, so I was asked back and I declined because at the time that episode was made or being planned and they asked me to appear, I said, but I don't believe aliens built Newgrange. And they said, we don't want you to say that. Said, okay, we just want your expertise. But when you watch the episode, that's kind of what they kind of what they're hinting at. So yeah, yeah, I did it once, and call it a claim to fame or a claim to infamy, whatever you want to call it. Miriam Nichira is in the house. Greetings, Anthony, and Tua. Caught this by chance. Hope you had a nice autumn equinox. Going to listen while I start my day. A very good evening to you, Miriam, from the darkness of autumn equinox evening in the Boyne Valley, where it's just about getting dark. Mike T is Michael Trott. Good morning, Michael. Or are you in this part of the world? Sorry. I know you were recently. Which time zone are you in? Is it Happy Tuesday or Happy Monday? But thank you for clearing that up. Anthony, I could only find you when Lexi's tag came through my dashboard, totally invisible otherwise. Well, that'll be Facebook just doing its thing. I told you, I share loads of stuff on Facebook. There are a combined following on the page. The page has 82,000 followers. Mythical Ireland community has about 42. Combined following of almost 125,000 people. And if I share something, only a couple of dozen of them will like and comment. Go figure. They want me to spend a load of money so that I can reach my audience. It's always good for a laugh, that program, says Lily. Plus, a great travel program. Yeah. Monday now, says Mike T. Michael. Thanks for clearing that up, by the way, Michael. So happy. Good evening to you. Amanda June says, I haven't heard anyone say Giaguich in Ireland yet. I did hear someone say, what's the crack? And I've been taking the bus. So one of the phrases I've heard most is An Chéad Stad Ella. Is that the next stop? Yes. The announcements. Right. It is story time. Yeah, and just a reminder, again, please definitely do consider becoming a patron and support the project, support the whole Mythical Ireland vision. And yeah, it's very, 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 very much appreciated on my part, I can tell you, because otherwise I would have to go work on something else to make a living, and I'd be producing a lot less stuff, just put it that way. Anyway, yeah. So drop over to Patreon and sign up as a patron, preferably a paying one, because if you sign up as a free patron, you don't actually get anything that is not already on social media. But the Bronze Age level is good because you got the podcasts and the draft text of a book that I was writing that is completely written, actually. And other stuff that doesn't get shared on social media. Right, we are starting where we left off last week. So we had started reading The Fate of the Children of Ushnach. And when it's spelled S-U, S-U. No, it's not, Anthony. It's spelled U-S-N-A-C-H, Ushnach. Well, that's Ishnach, of course. And this is one of the famous sorrowful tales of Irish mythology. So we're just going to pick up where we left off last week. Are you just looking for attention, or do you need to go out? Oh. Somebody else is getting his attention right now. The wrong kind of attention by the looks of it. Yeah, male dog and all that. I will say no more. By the way, I'm selling my collection of hand puppets. I just want to get rid of them. I don't care how much I make for them. I just want them off my hands. Did somebody mention dad jokes? With the love that Conchobar had for Deirdre, he wanted to marry her with no delay. But when her leave was asked, she would not give it, for she was young yet, and she had no knowledge of the duties of a wife or the ways of a king's house. Yeah, some things don't change in the world. Yeah, let's get married to teenage girls, because you know, wow, still done in some parts of the world. And apologies for all of the butter puns recently, but I think you can appreciate I was on a roll. And when Conchobar was pressing her hard, she asked him to give her a delay of a year and a day. He said he would give her that, though it was hard for him, if she would give him her certain promise to marry him at the year's end. She did that, and Conchobar got a woman teacher for her, and nice, fine, pleasant, modest maidens, to be with her at her lying down and at her rising up, to be companions to her. And Deirdre grew wise in the works of a young girl and in the understanding of a woman. And if anyone at all looked at her face, whatever colour she was before that, she would blush crimson red. And it is what Conchobar thought, that he never saw with the eyes of his body a creature that pleased him so well. Again, the turn of phrase, especially as it's rendered directly into English, it's always interesting, fascinating, and indeed often amusing. I'll just repeat that. And it is what Conchobar thought, that he never saw with the eyes of his body a creature that pleased him so well. Wow. Couldn't they just say, and he saw with his eyes? Oh, because we're Irish and we like to be more long-winded than that. Amanda June, in relation to the butter joke, says, "You butter not do it again." I like that. Adina Sparks is in the house. Had trouble getting on today. Nothing was coming up on Facebook. And you're not the only one who's talking about that. I have no idea what's going on with... There are lots of things I could call it. Facebook, yeah. One day, Deirdre and her companions were out on a hill near Owenmacha, looking around them in the pleasant sunshine, and they saw three men walking together. Deirdre was looking at the men and wondering at them, and when they came near, she remembered the talk of the hunter and the three men she saw in her dream, and she thought to herself that these were the three sons of Uisnech, and that this was Naoise that had his head and shoulders above all the men of Ireland. The three brothers went by without turning their eyes at all upon the young girls on the hillside, and they were singing as they went, and whoever heard the low singing of the sons of Uisnech, it was enchantment and music to them, and every cow that was being milked and heard it gave 2/3 more of milk. And it is what... Isn't there some sort of supposedly some truth in that if you sing to animals, they will yield more, as it were, and plants as well. If you sing and play music to plants, they're far happier and they grow taller and bigger and more colourful. And it is what happened, that love for Naoise came into the heart of Deirdre, so that she could not but follow him. She gathered up her skirt and went after the three men that had gone past the foot of the hill, leaving her companions there after her. But Ainle and Arden had heard talk of the young girl that was at Conchobar's court, and it is what they thought, that if Naoise, their brother, would see her, it is for himself he would have her, for she was not yet married to the king. Well, hang on a second. She's already pledged herself to him. But it's more complex than that, folks, isn't it? Kind of half sounds like she pledged herself to him under duress. She gathered up her skirt and went after the three men that had gone past the foot of the hill, leaving her companions thereafter. I said that already. Yes. Anthony, stop repeating yourself. So when they saw Deirdre coming after them, they said to one another to hasten their steps, for they had a long road to travel, and the dusk of night coming on. They did so, and Deirdre saw it, and she cried out after them, "Naoise, son of Uisnech, are you going to leave me?" What cry was that came to my ears, that it is not well for me to answer, and not easy for me to refuse, said Naoise. It was nothing but the cry of Conchobar's wild ducks, said his brother. Yeah, nice try. I don't think ducks can speak Irish. But let us quicken our steps and hasten our feet, for we've a long road to travel, and the dusk of the evening coming on. and the usual repetition enters the tale too. They did so, and they were widening the distance between themselves and her. Then Deirdre cried, Naoise, Naoise, son of Uisnech, are you going to leave me? What cry was it that came to my ears and struck my heart that it is not well for me to answer, or easy for me to refuse? Said Naoise. Nothing but the cry of Conchobar's wild geese, said his brothers. But let us quicken our steps and hasten our feet. The darkness of night is coming on. They did so, and they were widening the distance between themselves and her. Then Deirdre cried the third time, Naoise, 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 son of Uisnech, are you going to leave me? What sharp, clear cry was that, the sweetest that ever came to my ears, and the sharpest that ever struck my heart, of all the cries I ever heard, said Naoise. Now, the lads are going to have some explaining to do, because they can't say it was the king's cattle. I mean, cattle don't make pleasant calls, you know. What kind of birds are they going to say it that they were this time to convince him that it wasn't, in fact, a beautiful woman? What is it but the scream of Conchobar's lake swans, said his brothers. That was the third cry of some person beyond there, said Naoise, and I swear by my hand of valour, he said, I will go no further until I see where the cry comes from. At which point the brothers are going, shit, we're done for now. So Naoise turned back and met Deirdre, and Deirdre and Naoise kissed one another 3 times, and she gave a kiss to each of his brothers. And with the confusion that was on her, a blaze of red fire came upon her, and her colour came and went as quickly as the aspen by the stream. And it is what Naoise thought to himself, that he never saw a woman so beautiful in his life. And he gave Deirdre there and then the love that he never gave to living thing, to vision, or to creature, but to herself alone. I think we're done for, folks. That's it. It's a love story. And they're in love, and the king's not going to be happy. Yeah. He is. Then he lifted her high on his shoulder, and he said to his brothers to hasten their steps, and they hastened them. Yeah, I was telling my wife the other day that I saw someone stealing all my socks. She said, did you go after them? I said, no, I got cold feet. Then he lifted her high on his shoulder, and he said to his brothers to hasten their steps, and they hastened them. Harm will come of this, said the young men. Although there should harm come, said Naoise, I am willing to be in disgrace while I live. We will go with her to another province, and there is not in Ireland a king who will not give us a welcome. So they called their people, and that night they set out with 3 times 50 men. There's that number again, folks, thrice 50, and 3 times 50 women, and 3 times 50 greyhounds, and Deirdre in their midst. Wow, what a company. 350 by 3. That's a lot. Thrice 50 in Irish myth, generally referring to an uncountable number, a large amount. Why is always love that starts with conflicts? Right. They were a long time after that, shifting from one place to another, all around Ireland, from Esro in the south to Ben Ether northeast again. And it is often they were in danger of being destroyed by Conchobar's devices. At one time, the Druids raised a wood before them, but Naoise and his brothers cut their way through it. Quite skilled with an axe, apparently. But at last, they got out of Ulster and sailed to the country of Alban, Scotland, and settled in a lonely place. And when hunting on the mountains failed them, they fell upon the cattle of the men of Alban, so that these gathered together to make an end of them. But the sons of Uisnech, called to the king of Scotland, and he took them into his friendship, and they gave him their help when he went out into battles or to war. Fair exchange. But all this time, they had never spoken to the king of Deirdre. Oh, the king of Deirdre. I was like, how can you be the king of Deirdre? But all this time, they'd never spoken to the king of Deirdre. They'd never spoken of Deirdre to the king, basically, or about Deirdre. And they kept her with themselves, not to let anyone see her, for they were afraid they might get their death on account of her, she being so beautiful. But it chanced very early one morning, the king's steward came to visit them, and he found his way into the house where Naoise and Deirdre were, and there he saw them asleep beside one another. He went back then to the king, and he said, "Up to this time, there has never been found a woman that would be a fitting wife for you. But there is a woman on the shore of Loch Ness now." Yes, Loch Ness, the lake with the famous monster. "It is well worthy of you." Sorry, if there is a woman on the shore of Loch Ness now, is well worthy of you, King of the East. And what you have to do is make an end of Naoise, for it is of his wife I am speaking. "I will not do that," said the king. "But go to her," he said, "and bid her to come and see me secretly." The steward brought her that message, but Deirdre sent him away. And all that he had said to her, she told it to Naoise afterwards. Then, when she would not come to him, the king sent the sons of Uisnech. Consistency, Anthony. The king sent the sons of Uisnech into every hard fight, hoping they would get their death. But they won every battle and came back safe again. And after a while, they went to Loch Eche near the sea, and they were left to themselves there for a while in peace and quietness. And they settled and made a dwelling house for themselves by the side of Loch Ness. And they could kill the salmon of the stream from out their own door, and the deer of the grey hills from out their window. But when Naoise went to the court of the king, his clothes were splendid among the great men of the army of Scotland. A cloak of bright purple, rightly shaped, with a fringe of bright gold, a coat of satin with 50 hooks of silver, a brooch on which were 100 polished gems, a gold-hilted sword in his hand, 2 blue-green spears of bright points, a dagger with the colour of yellow gold on it, and a hilt of silver. But the 2 children they had, Gair and Aibgraine, they gave into the care of Manannán, son of the sea. That's Manannán MacLear. And he cared them well in Awan of the apple trees. Is that Awan Aulach? And he brought Boverus, the poet, to give learning to Gair. And Aibgraine of the sunny face, he gave in marriage afterwards to Rin, son of Yucky Yule of the land of promise. Now it happened after a time that a very great feast was made by Conchobar in Awan Macha for all the great among his nobles, so that the whole company were easy and pleasant together. The musicians stood up to play their songs and to give poems, and they gave out the branches of relationship and of kindred. These are the names of the poets who were in Awan at that time: Cafad the Druid, son of Conall, son of Ruria, and Gyanon of the Bright Face, son of Cafad, and Ferkirtne, and Gyanon Blackney, and many others, and Shanachah, son of Ailil, and many others, and many others, full stop, surely, but not in Ireland. List. Him, this fella, this person, this person, and many others. Oh, and Shanachah, son of Ailil. They were all drinking and making merry until Conchobar the king raised his voice and spoke aloud, and it is what he said. I desire to know from you, did you ever see a better house than this house of Awan, or a hearth better than my hearth, in any place you were ever in? We did not, they said. If that is so, said Conchobar, do you know of anything at all that is wanting to you? We know of nothing, said they. That is not so with me, said Conchobar. I know of a great want that is on you, the want of the 3 best candles of the Gael, the 3 noble sons of Uisneach, that ought not to be away from us for the sake of any woman in the world. Naoise, Ainla, and Arden, for surely they are the sons of a king, and they would defend the high kingship against the best men of Ireland. If we had dared, said they, it is long ago we would have said it, and more than that, the province of Ulster would be equal to any other province in Ireland, if there was no Ulsterman in it but those 3 alone, for it is lions they are in hardness and in bravery. If that is so, said Conchobar, let us send word by a messenger to Alban, and to the dwelling place of the sons of Uisneach, to ask them back again. Who will go there with the message, said they all. I cannot know that, said Conchobar, for there is a gassa, that is bonds, on Naoise, or a taboo, not to come back with any man, only one of the 3, Conall Cearnach, or Fergus, or Cuchulain. And I will know now, said he, which one of those 3 loves me best. Then he called Conall to one side, and he asked him, what would you do with me if I should send you for the sons of Uisneach, and if they were destroyed through me, a thing I do not mean to do? As I am not going to undertake it, said Conall, I will say that it is not one alone I would kill, but any Ulsterman I would lay hold of that had harmed them would get shortening of life from me and the sorrow of death. I see well, said Conchobar, you are no friend of mine. And he put Conall away from him. Then he called Cuchulain to him and asked him the same as he did the other. I give my word, as I am not going, said Cuchulain, if you want that of me, and that you think to kill them when they come, it is not one person alone that would die for it, but every Ulsterman I could lay hold of would get shortening of his life from me and the sorrow of death. I see well, said Conchobar, that you are no friend of mine. And he put Cuchulain from him. And then he called Fergus to him, and asked him the same question. And Fergus said, whatever may happen, I promise your blood will be safe from me. But besides yourself, there is no Ulsterman that would try to harm them, and that I would lay hold of, but I would give him shortening of life and the sorrow of death. I see well, said Conchobar. It is yourself must go for them, and it is tomorrow you must set out. For it is with you they will come, and when you are coming back to us westward, I put you under bonds to go first to the fort of Borach, son of Coinche, and give me your word now that as soon as you get there, you will send on the sons of Uisneach to Awan, whether it be day or night at the time. After that, the 2 of them went in together, And Fergus told all the company how it was under his charge they were to be put. Just going to catch up on the comments for a moment. Emperor of Cork is apparently here. Is the Ishnok? You can't say it, and I can't spell it. The Munstermen. No, well, Ushnock, the centre of Ireland. It's in modern County Westmeath, the hill of Ishnok, as in. Tom Lawler is listening from the Devil's Bit. Very good evening. Go G Conde Tubradoran Hamash Conasatao too. Andrew Christie says a lot of the folklore died out with the migration. A tale in Carmina Gaelica tells of an old man who knew days worth of tales being mocked by the local priest and stopped reciting them not long after emigrating to the US. Yeah, look, the migration bit and the famine. Entire townlands and parishes emptied out of people, and consequently a lot of the folklore, you know. Then Conchobar went to Borach and asked had he a feast ready prepared for him. I have, said Borach, but although I was able to make it ready, I was not able to bring it to Awan. If that is so, said Conchobar, give it to Fergus when he comes back to Ireland, for it is giasa on him not to refuse your feast. Borach promised he would do that, and so they wore away that night. From hunger, because they wouldn't eat. So Fergus set out in the morning, and he brought no guard nor helpers with him, but himself and his two sons, fair-haired Yolum and rough-red Buine, and Cuchulain the shield-bearer, and the shield itself. No point bringing a shield-bearer unless he's got something to bear. They went on till they got to the dwelling place of the sons of Ushnock, and to Loch Eitche in Alba, Eitche. And, it is how the sons of Ushnock, I keep saying Ishnock because that's the way I pronounce modern Ishnock. It is how the sons of Ushnock lived. They had 3 houses, and the house where they made ready the food, it is not where they would eat it. And the house where they would eat it is not where they would sleep. Wow. When Fergus came to the harbour, he let a great shout out of him. And it is how Naoise and Deirdre were. They had a chessboard between them, and they playing on it. Naoise heard the shout, and he said, that is the shout of a man of Ireland. It is not, but the cry of a man of Alban, said Deirdre. She knew at the first it was Fergus gave the shout, but she denied it. Then Fergus let another shout out of him. That is an Irish shout, said Naoise again. It is not indeed, said Deirdre. This is turning into a real marriage, isn't it? Let us go on playing. Then Fergus gave the third shout, and the sons of Ushnock knew this time it was the shout of Fergus. And Naoise said to Arden to go out and meet him. Then Deirdre told him that she herself knew at the first shout that it was Fergus. Why did you deny it then, Queen? Said Naoise. Because of a vision I saw last night, said Deirdre. 3 birds I saw coming to us from Awan Macha, and 3 drops of honey in their mouths. And they left them with us, and 3 drops of our blood they brought away with them. What meaning do you put on that, Queen? Said Naoise. It is, said Deirdre, Fergus that is coming to us with a message of peace from Conchobar, for honey is not sweeter than a message of peace sent by a lying man. Let that pass, said Naoise. Is there anything in it but troubled sleep and the melancholy of woman. Oh, here we go. Yes, it's the old misogyny. Yes, just miss the woman. Yes, because she had a dream. Yeah. And it is a long time Fergus is in the harbour. Rise up, Arden, to be before him, and bring him with you here. And Arden went down to meet him and gave a fond kiss to himself and to his 2 sons. And it is what he said: "My love to you, dear comrades." After that, he asked news of Ireland, and they gave it to him. News of Ireland, obviously. And then they came to where Naoise and Ainle and Deirdre were, and they kissed Fergus and his 2 sons, and they asked news of Ireland from them. "It is the best news I have for you," said Fergus, "that Conchobar, king of Ulster, has sworn by the earth beneath him, by the high heaven above him, and by the sun that travels to the west, that he will have no rest by day nor sleep by night, if the sons of Uisneach, his own foster brothers, will not come back to the land of their home and the country of their birth, and he has sent us to ask you there." "It is better for them to stop here," said Deirdre, "for they have a greater sway in Scotland than Conchobar himself has in Ireland." "One's own country is better than any other thing," said Fergus, "for no man can have any pleasure, however great his good luck and his way of living, if he does not see his own country every day." "That is true," said Naoise, "for Ireland is dearer to myself than Alban, though I would get more in Alban than in Ireland." "It will be safe indeed," said Naoise, "and we will go with you to Ireland. And though there were no trouble beneath the sun, but a man to be far from his own land, there is little delight in peace and a long sleep to a man that is an exile. It is a pity for the man that is an exile. It is little his honour, it is great his grief, for it is he will have his share of wandering." It was not with Deirdre's will Naoise said that, and she was greatly against going with Fergus. Call it woman's intuition. What is it we've been saying for hundreds of episodes? Always listen to the woman. And he said, "I had a dream last night of the 3 sons of Uisneach, and they bound and put in the grave by Conchobar by Conchobar of the Red Branch." But Naoise said, "Lay down your dream, Deirdre, on the heights of the hills. Lay down your dream on the sailors of the sea. Lay down your dream on the rough grey stones. For we will give peace, and we will get it from the King of the world and from Conchobar." King of the world and Conchobar. Who is the King of the world? Depends on which story you're reading. Dara Dunn. But Deirdre spoke again, and it is what she said. "There is the howling of dogs in my ears. A vision of the night is before my eyes. I see Fergus away from him. I see Conchobar without mercy in his dun. I see Naoise without strength in battle. I see Ainle without his loud sounding shield. I see Arden without shield or breastplate, on the hill of Aha without delight. I see Conchobar asking for blood. I see Fergus caught with hidden lies. I see Deirdre crying with tears. I see Deirdre crying with tears." "A thing that is unpleasing to me, and that I would never give in to," said Fergus, "is to listen to the howling of dogs and to the dreams of women. And since Conchobar the High King has sent a message of friendship, it would not be right for you to refuse it." Grace Walker has joined us. Hello, Grace. "It would not be right indeed," said Naoise, "and we will go with you tomorrow. And Fergus gave his word, and he said, if all the men of Ireland were against you, it would not profit them, for neither shield nor sword or a helmet itself would be any help or protection to them against you, and I myself to be with you. That is true, said Naoise, and we will go with you to Ireland. They spent the night there until morning. Very Irish way of saying things. Well, given that night ends in the morning, when you say they spent the night there, there's no need to add until the morning afterwards, is there? It's so funny, isn't it? It's hilarious. Glenda Houston, thank you if you're watching. Yes, gratitude. Thank you indeed. If you strip back the story and take away the names, what you are reading is the levels of living with a philosophical twist. The links between Scot and Éire show how the true Scots are Irish. I'm sure there's plenty of Scots who would argue that, but we have a lot of affinity, a huge amount of shared culture and language and place names and myths and legends and folklore. And yeah, a lot of shared history. Yes, indeed. Now, where was I? Yes, they spent the night there until morning. And when they and then they went where the ships were, and they went on the sea, and a good many of their people with them. And Deirdre looked back on the land of Alban, and it is what she said. My love to you, O land of the east, and it goes ill with me to leave you. For it is pleasant are your bays and your harbours, and your wide flower plains, and your green-sided hills, and little need was there for us to leave you. And she made this complaint. Dear to me is that land to the east, Alban with its wonders. I would not have come from it hither, but that I came with Naoise. Dear to me, Dun Fioi and Dun Fionn. Dear is the Dun above them. Dear to me, Inish Droinach. Dear to me, Dun Suivne. O Coil Coam Ahon, Coil Coam, where Ainla used to come. My grief, it was short. I thought his stay there with Naoise in Western Alban. Glenloy, oh Glenloy, where I used to sleep under soft coverings, fish and venison and badger's flesh. That was my portion in Glenloy. Glenmasson, my grief Glenmasson, high its heart's tongue, bright its stalks. We were rocked to pleasant sleep over the wooded harbour of Masson. Glenarchan, my grief Glenarchan, the straight valley of the pleasant ridge. Never was there a young man more light-hearted than my Naoise used to be in Glenarchan. Glenaiche, my grief Glenaiche, it was there I built my first house. Beautiful were the woods on our rising. The home of the sun is in Glenaiche. Glendarua. There you go, Brendan. My grief Glendarua. My love to every man that belongs to it. Sweet is the voice of the cuckoo on the bending branch on the hill above Glendarua. Dear to me is Droyan over the fierce strand. Dear are its waters over the clean sand. I would never have come out from it at all, but that I came with my beloved. After she had made that complaint, they came to Dun Borach, and Borach gave 3 fond kisses to Fergus and to the sons of Ushnach along with him. It was then Borach said he had a feast laid out for Fergus, and that it was Gyasa for him to leave it until he would have eaten it. But Fergus reddened with anger from head to foot, and it is what he said. "It is a bad thing you have done, Borach, laying out a feast for me, and Conchobar to have made me give my word that as soon as I would come to Ireland, whether it would be by day or in the night time, I would send on the sons of Ushnach to Owen Macha. I hold you under Gyasa," said Borach, "to stop and use the feast." Then Fergus asked Naoise, what should he do about the feast? "You must choose," said Deirdre, "whether you will forsake the children of Ushnach or the feast, and it would be better for you to refuse the feast than to forsake the sons of Ushnach." "I will not forsake them," said he, "for I will send my 2 sons, fair-haired Yollan and rough-red Bunya, with them to Owen Macha." "On my word," said Naoise, "that is a great deal to do for us, for up to this, no other person ever protected us but ourselves." And he went out of the place in great anger. And Ainle and Arden and Deirdre and the 2 sons of Fergus followed him. And they left Fergus dark and sorrowful after them. But for all that, Fergus was full sure that if all the provinces of Ireland would go into one council, they would not consent to break the pledge he had given. Your word is your bond, something that was extremely important, of tantamount, paramount importance in ancient Ireland. You didn't break your word, you kept it. As for the sons of Ushnach, they went on their way by every short road, and Deirdre said to them, I will give you a good advice. I will give you a good advice, sons of Ushnach, though you may not follow it. Of course they won't. You're a woman, and we've seen so far that nobody's paid a blind bit of attention to you, even though you know it's all heading for disaster. And you did warn them several times. Would they listen? Sorry, what did you say, love? Little joke there. Never mind. What is that advice, Queen? Said Naoise. It is, said she, to go to Rechran between Ireland and Scotland, and to wait there until Fergus has done with the feast. And that will be the keeping of his word to Fergus, and it will be the lengthening of your lives to you. We will not follow that advice, said Naoise. And the children of Fergus said it was little trust she had in them, when she thought they would not protect her, though their hands might not be so strong as the hands of the son of Ushnach. And besides that, Fergus had given them his word. No, that's enough. No. He said, I want to read. Can't do any worse than me. At least he won't tell any jokes. Alas, it is sorrow came on us with the word of Fergus, said Deirdre, and he to forsake us for a feast. And she made this complaint. It is grief to me that ever I came from the east on the word of the unthinking son of Roe. That's Fergus MacRoe. It is only lamentations I will make. Oh, it is very sorrowful, my heart is. My heart is heaped up with sorrow. It is tonight my great hurt is, for grief, my dear companions, the end of your days is come. And it is what Naoise answered her. Do not say that in your haste, Deirdre, more beautiful than the sun. Fergus would never have come for us eastward to bring us back to be destroyed. And Deirdre said, my grief, I think it too far for you, beautiful sons of Ushnach, to have come from Alban to the rough grass. it is lasting, will be its lifelong sorrow. After that, they went forward to Fincairn of the watchtower on sharp-peaked Sliabh Fuad, and Deirdre stayed after them in the valley, and sleep fell on her there. That's interesting, isn't it? Fincairn, the bright cairn on Sliabh Fuad. That's the Fuse Mountains in southern Armagh, overlooking northern Louth. Fincairn. Bright cairn? White cairn? When Naoise saw that Deirdre was left after them, he turned back as she was rising out of her sleep, and he said, "What made you wait after us, Queen?" "Sleep that was on me," said Deirdre, "and I saw a vision in it." "What vision was that?" Why is he asking? She's already told him several portentous dreams, and he completely dismissed her. Why does he want to hear another one? "It was," she said, "fair-haired Cuchulain that I saw without his head on him, and rough-red Buine with his head on him. And it is without help of rough-red Buine you were, and it is with the help of fair-haired Cuchulain you were." And she made this complaint. "It is a sad vision has been shown to me of my 4 tall, fair, bright companions. The head of each has been taken from him, and no help to be had one from another." But when Naoise heard this, he reproached her and said, "Oh, fair, beautiful woman, nothing does your mouth speak but evil. So it's like, I married you because of your looks, but for everything else, just shut your gob." I think I'm getting the picture. It's like, oh, she's a good looker. Oh, I think I'll take her for my wife. But yeah. Don't even talk to me because, never mind. "Do not let the sharpness and the grace and the great misfortune that come from it fall on your friends." And Deirdre answered him with kind, gentle words, and it is what she said. "It would be better to me to see harm come on any other person than upon any of you 3, with whom I have travelled over the seas and over the wide plains. But when I look on you, it is only Buine I can see whole and untouched, and I know by that his life will be longest among you, and indeed it is I that I am sorrowful tonight." Just double checking to see if I read that correctly. I'm going to reread it because I'm questioning myself. "But when I look on you, it is only Buine I can see whole and untouched, and I know by that his life will be longest among you, and indeed it is I that I am sorrowful tonight." So I think the I is a repetition. I think the second I is not needed. I think it should just say, "and indeed it is I that am sorrowful tonight." But it actually says, "and indeed it is I that I am sorrowful tonight." After that, they came forward to the high willows, and it was then Deirdre said, "I see a cloud in the air, and it is a cloud of blood. And I would give you a good advice, sons of Uisneach," she said. "What is that advice?" said Naoise. Why is he even asking her? He has completely dismissed everything she has told him up to date. Why? Like, what's the point in her even speaking to you now? You're just going to ignore her or tell her not to be silly and not to be a silly little woman. And you just sit there and do your thing. "What is that advice?" said Naoise. "To go to Dundalgan, where Cuchulain is, until Fergus has done with the feast, and to be under the protection of Cuchulain, for fear of the treachery of Conchobar. Since there is no fear on us, we will not follow that advice," said Naoise. Somewhat predictably, Naoise has yet again dismissed the advice of his wife and his queen. And Deirdre complained And it is what she said. "Oh, Nisha, look at the cloud I see above us in the air. I see a cloud over green macha, cold and deep red like blood. I am startled by the cloud that I see here in the air, a thin, dreadful cloud that is like a clot of blood. I give a right advice to the beautiful sons of Uisneach not to go to Awan tonight because of the danger that is over them." She couldn't be more clear, lads. Conchobar is treacherous. You know that she was supposed to get married to him. You know that she gave her heart to Nisha. You know that you had to flee Ulster. Now he's saying he wants you back. And Deirdre's like, no, 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 no. He's treacherous. He's going to kill us all. He's going to kill us all. Don't, just don't do it. Don't do it. And Nisha keeps going, yeah, talk to them. Yes. Nothing changes. We will go to Dundal, start again. We will go to Dundalgan, where the hound of the smith is, Cuchulain. We will come tomorrow from the south along with the hound, Cuchulain. But Nisha said in his anger to Deirdre, "Since there is no fear on us, we will not follow your advice." And Deirdre turned to the grandsons of Roe, and it is what she said. "It is seldom until now, Nisha, that yourself and myself were not of the one mind. And I say to you, Nisha, that you would not have gone against me like this the day Manannán gave me the cup in the time of his great victory." After that, they went on to Awan Macha. "Sons of Uisneach," said Deirdre, "I have a sign by which you will know if Conchobar is going to do treachery on you." "What sign is that?" said Nisha. Yet again, I'm exasperated at this point. Why is he even asking her? He's going to completely ignore her and dismiss her and tell her to be quiet, silly woman. "If you are let come into the house where Conchobar is, and the nobles of Ulster, then Conchobar is not going to do treachery on you. But if it is in the house of the Red Branch you are put, then he is going to do treachery on you." After that, they came to Awan Macha, and they took the handwork and struck the door. And they took the handwood and struck the door, and the doorkeeper asked who was there. They told him that it was the sons of Uisneach and Deirdre, and the two sons of Fergus were there. When Conchobar heard that, he called his stewards and serving men to him, and he asked them how was the house of the Red Branch for food and drink. They said that if all the 7 armies of Ulster would come there, they would find what would satisfy them. "If that is so," said Conchobar, "bring the sons of Uisneach into it." It was then Deirdre said, "It would have been better for you to follow my advice and never to have come to Awan. And it would be right for you to leave it, even at this time." "We will not," said fair-haired Yulin, "for it is not fear or cowardliness was ever seen on us, but we will go to the house." So they went on to the house of the Red Branch, and the stewards and the serving men with them, and well-tasting food was served to them, and pleasant drinks, till they were all glad and merry, except only Deirdre and the sons of Uisneach, for they did not use much food or drink, because of the length and the greatness of their journey from Dunbarach to Awan Macha. Then Nisha said, "Give the chessboard to us till we go playing." So they gave them the chessboard, and they began to play. It was just at that time that Conchobar was asking, who will I send that will bring me word of Deirdre? And that will tell me if she has the same appearance and the same shape she had before. For if she has, there is not a woman in the world has a more beautiful shape or appearance than she has. And I will bring her out with edge of blade and point of sword, in spite of the sons of Uisnech, good though they be. But if not, let Naoise have her for himself. I myself will go there, said Levercam, and I will bring you word of that. And it is how it was. Deirdre was dearer to her than any other person in the world. For it was often she went through the world looking for Deirdre and bringing news to her and from her. So Levercam went over to the house of the Red Branch, and near it she saw a great troop of armed men, and she spoke to them, but they made her no answer. And she knew by that it was none of the men of Ulster were in it, but men from some strange country that Conchobar's messengers had brought to Awan. And then she went in where Naoise and Deirdre were, and it is how she found them, the polished chessboard between them, and they playing on it. She gave them fond kisses, and she said, you are not doing well to be playing, and it is to bring Conchobar word if Deirdre has the same shape and appearance she used to have, that he sent me here now. And there is grief on me for the deed that will be done in Awan tonight, treachery that will be done, and the killing of kindred, and the 3 bright candles of the gale to be quenched, and Awan will not be the better of it to the end of life and time. And she made this complaint sadly and wearily. Sad is my heart for the treachery that is being done in Awan this night. On account of this treachery, Awan will never be at peace from this out. The 3 that are most king-like today under the sun, the 3 best of all that live on the earth, it is grief to me tonight, they to die for the sake of any woman. Naoise and Ainla, whose deeds are known, and Arden, their brother. Treachery is to be done on the young, bright-faced 3. It is not I that am not sorrowful tonight. Which is another way of saying I'm sorrowful tonight. It is not me that is not sorrowful tonight. Yes. And at that point, my dear people, Craich. Well, for now. It being almost 20 past 9. Anyway, any questions or comments? Yes, we will continue where we left off in next week's episode. Yeah. It's like, need we repeat the mantra, always listen to the woman? Trust the woman's visions and dreams and intuition. Yeah. And it's funny, isn't it? Well, it's not funny, but it's kind of typical. Conchobar only wanted to know if Deirdre still looked the same. Didn't want to know if she was wiser than she had been before, or she'd been to university or got herself a career. Just wanted to know, is she the same shape? Is she still as beautiful as she was? Because that's all I'm interested in. Wow. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I think there's a theme in there, Brian, definitely relating to the idea of banishry, or, you know, what's it called, Iris Gamos, or the sacred marriage, you know, that, yeah, you ignore her at your peril. Yes, Tuesday is also sorrowful, but just sorrowful that this episode is coming to an end. Well, all the more reason to come back next week. Yep. Thank you for tuning in this evening. It was my great pleasure. Remember the bins. Yes, it's the black bins this week. What day is today? Yes. No, I did that one last week, so no point repeating jokes. So, yeah, thank you indeed. And yeah, let's call it an evening. And I shall go and put out the bins. To everyone who joined us and who commented and said hello, and even those who didn't make their presence known, you're always welcome here too. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye for now. I'll say my usual thing. What was it? Have I anything else to remind you about? If you're new, the website is mythicalireland.com. And that in itself is quite a vast resource. I was going to say big, but call it what it is, Anthony. It's big. It's a huge website and lots and lots. If you're there, please do sign up for the free email newsletter. Most importantly of all, I would really love if all of you would drop over to Patreon and maybe consider becoming patrons at the Bronze Age level. That's $10 a month, by the way. I think it's €9 per month. When you think about it, that's the price of 2 decent cups of coffee. Yeah, help ensure the continuation of the podcasts and the books and the blog posts and the videos and the photography and the tours and everything else. Anyway, you've all been wonderful, and special thoughts to Sue and the poor doggy, huh? What can I say except sympathies? And yeah, we'll see you all next week. So thanks, Lily. Just double check my calendar. Oh, yeah, I may have to postpone next week. Almost certainly will have to. I'm away next Monday, so we'll probably postpone to Tuesday evening. So instead of the 29th, the next episode will be on Tuesday the 30th. Now, I will put up a post on YouTube and Facebook before that, but of course, a lot of stuff I post on Facebook doesn't actually get seen by the followers. So just bear that in mind. If you're tuning in next Monday and there's no live stream, don't panic. I'll probably postpone it to Tuesday. And Tuesday, Thompson will be delighted because she'll be able to say, Happy Mythology Tuesday. Yes, indeed. And to Mike T in this time zone, hope you're enjoying it. And to everyone else who said hello, it's been a great pleasure spending time with you. All that remains for me to say at this time is Ichawa, Kolosov, Sloan Gafol, August Toga Buggy. Take it easy.